Today I've got some blades that I need to forge. These are production models. Okay, so for these production models, I forge these a little bit different just for time's sake. So we're going to walk through that process. The first thing I have to do is change out the dies on the hammer, and that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, this is my mechanical forging hammer. It's a little giant. Originally it was designed to run on a line shaft where you have a big drive shaft that ran through the rafters of the factory. Then they'd have a leather belt to come around, run on this big wide flywheel. As near as I can tell, this was built right after World War I. The serial number on this is fairly low. It was the 2,165th hammer that Little Giant made. So it's pretty early. It's a great machine, very reliable. These dies are just held in by a tapered key. You can see they're dovetailed. And there is a left and a right to these. So the next thing we gotta do is lube this thing for the day. And you gotta lube all these points. And I use chainsaw bar oil for the lube.
And what is that?
Grease. Just a couple of shots. Alright, so that's done. Ready to go. Damn. Now this is 52-100 steel, so the carbon content in this stuff is fairly high. It's called a hyper-ectoid type steel, and maybe I'm not pronouncing it right, but what it means is the carbon content is a percent or a little over that. So what that means to real world application is that will crack if you get it too hot. So this stuff you got to forge it a little cooler than 1095 or 1084 or 1075. What'll happen is what'll get what they call hot short. Hot shortness is when you heat it up really hot and hit it with a hammer and it'll crack and crumble and fall apart. Be a waste of your time and a waste of materials and a waste of money. So we got to really watch our temperature. screw the bevel in on the clip side first. And then this one is both bevels drawn in. Take care of that later. This is my press. It's a 150-ton hydraulic press. It's used for pressing forklifts, so solid forklift tires on the rims. That's what it was built for. I've repurposed it to forge knives, and it's a great press. Okay, so I've got to mark this, and this is where the handle will come, and right there in that area is where I want to mark it. So I'm going to set up my press here, mark. So now I've got it more or less where I want it. I'll mark the outline here.
Can you explain what you're doing?
So now that I've got it marked where I want it, where it's going to lay on that, then this is my jig. Basically it's a water jet negative of the blank. I'll tack weld that on there to locate it, and then all I could do is throw the forging into this, press it, and it's done. So I got to weld it. In this step, I've got to straighten all my forgings. You can see how bent that is. So I got got my flattening dies in there. And I'll heat them up. Just put enough heat in them to turn them a little bit of color. Squish them down flat. And when they're cool, they'll be straight. Zoom in on it. Straight as a string. So easy, it ought to be